at this point, a broomstick would be a better leader than Donald Trump. I wonder where we could place that bet. What about my bookie? Would they take that bet?
Oh, they may. They may take that bet, and many, many others.
Well, I know they take many others. You know, I used to think if I changed my name to many others, I'd get booked more because he was on every other fucking show, right? Many others. But sports have come to a screeching halt. Basketball has been benched. Pitchers are off the mound. Catchers can't squat. But our friends at MyBookie aren't going to let you down, folks. What's the matter with you?
What is this read? I'm sorry.
You can stay sane and stay entertained with access. You know, if a catcher can't squat,
oh my God,
that just takes the fun out of his whole day. Stay sane, stay entertained with access to your favorite games like blackjack, roulette, slots, video poker, or if your favorite squad has been sidelined because of the pandemic, MyBookie has partnered. What?
You
not even say your favorite squad?
You just said if your favorite squad has been sidelined.
I said squad. If your favorite squad has been sidelined.
That's not what you said.
Because of the pandemic. Damn it. Because of the pandemic. MyBookie has partnered with some of the leading esports brands to bring you wagers. Now, you cocksucker. Bring you wagers on virtual action straight from the court, NBA 2K20, all the stuff that me and Brian last don't know how it works. You can play the squat machines. You can even bet on your squat, even if your squat's been benched, all of it. And more at MyBookie, mybookie.ag, and use the promo code JCE, and you get 150% bonus on your first casino deposit. Promo code JCE at mybookie.ag. 150% cash bonus on your first deposit, all the way up $750. You spin, you win, and you get paid. You take that money. You don't walk out of the casino because you ain't in one. You're already in your own home. You can squat down right there. And you can celebrate with a good old-fashioned squat that you've won money from MyBookie.
It's better than being in a casino where you have all those old people smoking cigarettes everywhere. It's awful.
Well, and I tried to take a squat one time in a casino, and they firmly suggested that I take my business elsewhere. It was frowned on in that environment.
Right.
Oh, golly. You know, I used to like to, I didn't really bet, but I'd like when we'd go to the casinos, for shows or whatever. Because, I like to play the video poker like a video game. Not that I'm going to win any money or anything, but just use $10 in quarters, see how long I can play.
Were you ever in the cards? Were you ever in the poker or blackjack or anything?
No, not really. Especially, not to bet money or whatever. After I've done the MyBookie spot, but I like the video poker but the casinos are they're interesting places because you got food all the time. You got activity going on. You don't know what time of day or night it is. At the Showboat in Las Vegas, when we went out and worked with the original Midnight Express, I remember this young lady just bumped into her in the lobby, and she came back to my room and spent the better part of an hour helping me find a $100 bill that I'd lost. And just the friendliest people that you can meet there, and they'll just do anything for you.
Well, hold on. I'm going to get past the Randy part of the story here. You worked.
No, Randy Rose was still with the team then. Yeah, Randy Rose and Dennis Condrey were the original Midnight.
You did Midnight at the Showboat?
Yes.
I didn't realize. I didn't realize that. Wow.
Oh, that was the best night of Heyman's life. He was over the moon. He was 6 inches off the ground because the original Midnight had been working the AWA for over a year before they came to work for Crockett. And that's where they were doing AWA TV. That's where they'd done all their big matches and won the belt and everything, was at the Showboat. That's why he was especially pissed off. That was the weekend we did the Swing Out West. And it was our first weekend of house shows with the original Midnight after we'd done the Angle and it busted me open in whole 9 yards. That's the weekend Dusty didn't come. He had got fired. We didn't know it yet. And we go out and we find out that we're on the second match, and they tell us do a 20-minute Broadway. And we were, what the fuck? When's the last time a fucking hot angle match went on a show second and did a 20-minute Broadway? What the fuck? What's up? And the first night, we saved it at the Showboat because the thing was so over. Paulie tells a story, and actually, I was there when it happened, so it's the only reason I believe it. But I can testify this one thing that Paulie has said was true. The people were so into this goddamn match in the closing stretch when the fucking original midnight, when my midnight was making their comeback and they were going into the thing before they knew they were going to see a fucking blah ass fucking 20-minute draw finish. This guy had a fucking beer in a beer cup sitting on the seat next to him. And the people were because his wife had gone somewhere. And the people are stomping their feet and they're making so much noise, the beer vibrated off the fucking chair. Oh, goddamn. But the match got over huge, and they didn't even really mind the fucking Broadway because we added, me and Bobby and Stan called that they would jump us afterwards when I was trying to fucking do something with Bobby or whatever. They jump us from behind and get a little heat on us afterwards. We left that way. Then the next night God damn it, I don't have my book in front of me. I believe the next night was in Oakland or San Francisco, one or the other, and the people weren't so kind because it was a brand new market for us, really, and also it was a 20-minute Broadway. What the fuck? And that's where because then in Albuquerque, that's when I changed the finish and we bullied the referee into disqualifying us at 19:30. And we did some heat afterwards, and then that's when JJ got mad at us. But anyway, nevertheless.
Was JJ running those cards with Dusty Fire?
Yes, JJ was running the cards. And that's why when we changed the finish, he had to tell us, well, go home until you talk to Jimmy Crockett. I was, well, if Jimmy Crockett wants to talk to us, he's got our fucking phone number. But then I called Flair because we're technically, they're sending us home, and we changed the finish. They're sending us home, telling us to call the boss. We're going home and the boss can call us. Fuck this bullshit. And so I called Flair to see because he wasn't on the trip either for whatever fucking reason. Because I called him. Maybe he was just staying at a ritzy hotel in town. I don't know. But anyway, he said, oh, call Jimmy Crockett. So I did, and that's when Jimmy told me, well, that Dusty's been let go, and we're at a period of change, and we didn't want to do anything. Basically, they didn't want to do anything with the angle because now that Dusty was gone, I had sold Dusty on the angle, and he had shot it, so he would have supported it. But we would later find out that Jimmy Crockett, who was now technically in charge in the interim, didn't like Randy Rose and didn't really like fucking Angle. I think he's probably still mad at Dennis for fucking walking out on him. Who knows? But he's the one that started cutting it off and doing the 20-minute Broadway finishes and shit. And then Hurd picked up, and George Scott picked up the following month, and we were toast. But so anyway, we ended up not coming back to Charlotte, but going back. And he said, just go back and have the rest of the matches, and we'll talk when we get back to Charlotte or whatever. All right, so he calmed us down a little bit. But anyway, the point is, the original point of that story was that was the greatest night of Paulie's life, that match got. He had never been involved in a match probably that got over like that, because they were already over in Las Vegas, but now they're in the ring with Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, and we're doing the whole midnight thing off TV. So the people bought that. And they liked it there in Vegas that night at the Showboat. And then the young lady helped me find that $100 bill that had somehow mysteriously ended up underneath the Gideon Bible on the dresser.
Oh, my God. She's a very friendly lady. I've heard about her. She helped Wally Carbo find $50 8 times in the preceding years.
But I was about to say, if it was Wally Carbo at that point in time, it probably would have been 8 times over a period of 8 months. Anyway, I heard
Flair was at the Ritzy Hotel. He lost $5,000.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of
that girl was friendly, and son of a gun, right after Flair left Vegas, her kids went to college. I don't know how.